Another week, another huge deep dive on college football 25. Today we got the big one, the one we've been waiting for, and that's the Dynasty game mode deep dive. This video is going to be a little bit different. Normally I like to go into the notes and kind of cover some things in there, but it is so long, like this video would be over an hour long. So I'm going to put that link in the description. I do recommend reading over that. There is a lot of extra things that they don't cover in this video, so be sure to check out that link if you haven't already. But here we go. We're gonna watch the video. We're gonna pause and talk about some things that we like in this deep dive. If you guys are new right here, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Right here above me is the road to 10K. If we fill that bar up all the way, we're gonna do a $100 gift card for whatever console you want. Here we go. Let's get into the deep dive, boys. I am excited to watch this.
College Football 25, back for another deep dive. This time we're talking about everyone's favorite mode.
All right, so first thing that we see right here is the homepage menu for College Football 25. We haven't really seen that yet. It doesn't look like a Madden menu. It looks like a college football menu. I love that. We got the game modes. We got the training section right here. I think this might be like mini games and stuff like that. Create and share. That could be the team builder section. But I do like the menu, and you can select your team whatever you want your menu to look like. So that is cool.
Mode Dynasty. Online Dynasty in College Football 25 can accommodate up to 32 teams, and you can play with friends for up to 30 seasons.
Okay, so 32 teams, 30 seasons for Online Dynasty. That is plenty.
Today we'll take a closer look at the new 12-team college football playoff, recruiting, the transfer portal, and a ton of customization options to make your program unique. College football has seen seismic changes over the past few years, and an EA Sports College...
Right here. I wanted to make sure that we talked about this. I'm not seeing anyone talk about it. Everyone's going crazy for the Colorado ratings being like 89 on offense. We look at this, and they're at an 81. I don't know if this is what their new ratings are or what, but something ain't right. Their defense is definitely not better than their offense. I'm not sure what's going on with the ratings here. Maybe it's a bug. But that's like one of the first things that I noticed in this preview.
Football 25, you can experience this new landscape while building your program the way you want.
Hold on. Go back. I want everybody to watch the running back. If I can get it right. This guy right here. Look at the route that he runs.
Experience this new landscape while building your program the way you want.
Wheel route. Might be the meta, just saying.
The 2024 season marks the debut of the new 12-team college football playoff, and you can play it first in the game months before football playoff.
Okay, so the college football playoff, we're going to be able to do this before they actually do it in real life. I don't think we've gotten an opportunity to do something this crazy like this in a football game, but yeah, we'll be able to experiment with the 12-team college football playoff before they do it in real life. I like how it looks like right here. This kind of looks like it's straight off of ESPN. They've got the bowl emblems for each one of the games and the champion there at the end. This kind of looks really familiar to the college football revamped college football playoff mod that was out there. So big W there.
And you can play it first in the game months before the real thing. You could be the first coach to lead your school through the new 12-team playoff and hoist the college football playoff trophy.
Yo. That was the first look at the national championship celebration. Looks cool.
Recruiting is the lifeblood of college football. And in a world of unlimited transfers, managing your dynasty roster has never been more important. Evaluate your needs and opportunities for talent up.
All right, quality of life right here. This is huge. I'm going to back it up just a little bit. This screen we did have in older college football games, which was the team needs screen. But now, instead of it just being a number, now we can look over on the right-hand side and take a look at what players are at that position. There was so many times in those older games where I'm like, oh, zero need. I don't need to recruit anybody. And then I go look at my running backs and I don't like any of them. So I can hover over position. Look at what players are there. Look at which ones I need. It's all right here on the screen. Really love these quality of life things that they did to this game.
Opportunities for talent upgrades at the start of each season. The best way to build a powerhouse is to recruit through the high school ranks. So let's fill up your...
Okay, so here's a look at the screen of what our recruiting screen is going to look like. What I really love that they did is they didn't get away from what recruiting was in the older games. To me, what this looks like they did, they took NCAA 14 and NCAA 13 and they combined both of those recruiting databases. Those were two very different ways of recruiting and they combined them pretty much for this game. And I really love that they didn't get away from it because everyone liked that system. I'm glad they didn't try something new and just completely mess up recruiting, because if recruiting didn't do well in this game was an absolute L. That's how I feel. So here we go. We got all the players on the left. These are all the guys that you want to recruit. Right here, it says targets. We can recruit up to 35 guys. So on this list right here, we've got 35 different players that we can recruit. Middle one is the amount of hours that we can put into each one of these players. So we're going to distribute 700 hours into all of these players. And Kirk kind of goes a little bit deeper here, so we'll let him take over.
The recruiting board. Each year, over 3,500 high school recruits are
3,500 recruits. That's crazy.
Generated from all over the country, with certain regions representing real-world hotspots for blue-chip talent, like South Florida and Metro Atlanta. Do research to find recruits that best fit your program and determine who you can realistically land.
We got to look at scouting right here. So it takes 10 points right here from your time, 10 hours, I guess, to recruit about 10% of these players. So scouting has been, it's still the same pretty much. I like that they made it fast. You don't have to sit in the menu forever. And that's pretty much how it is with the whole recruiting system. You just kind of set it and then forget it and make sure that your targets are maxed out. Make sure your hours are maxed out every single week. And you don't have to jump in here and click 1,000 times just to recruit. Set your recruiting hours and you jump back into the game. I love that. That's how it should be.
A recruit's interest in your school is decided by 14 different pitch grades.
All right, so right here we've got all the different motivations out there that the players find important. On the left-hand side, you got the green check mark. Those are the hot spots for all the players. Every player is going to have like 3 of these green check marks. And then the right side, obviously, that is your school's grade in that specific subject. So I have read that some of these can't change at all. Obviously, coach proceeds, that can change as you get better as a coach. Playing style, that can change. Stadium atmosphere, as you get better, your atmosphere will improve. But things like academic prestige, that cannot be changed. Campus lifestyle, that cannot be changed either, which I kind of disagree with. If you're a boring school and then all of a sudden you just have a really, really good football season or a really good football team, I feel like during the football season, your campus lifestyle might improve a little bit. That's just my opinion, but that's how that works.
Grades like proximity to home, playing time, and brand exposure. So you'll need to discover how your program's pitch grades align with your recruits' desires, in addition to scouting.
So right here, this is where you can distribute those hours that you get. You can DM the players, you can contact friends and family, TV time, scholarship offered, and then you can schedule a visit.
For talent. Some players have a deal breaker requirement, and if your program cannot
This was also in NCAA 14 and 13.
provide, the recruit will lock you out. Deal breakers also drive a player's decision to enter the transfer portal. Monitor at-risk players and get one last chance to convince your favorites to stay.
So I really like that you can see what players are in danger of entering the transfer portal. It won't be a surprise. As long as you're paying attention to that stuff, it won't surprise you, so you know it's coming. And then you also have the option at the end to try to convince that player to stay.
Track your recruits as they narrow down their top schools. Pitch a prospect to gain more interest, and then set up school visits when the timing is right. It's crucial to remain in their top 10, then 8, then 5 to finally be part of their top 3. As a recruit trims down to the top 8, you can attempt to increase your appeal. If your school doesn't have exactly what the prospect is looking for, you can try to sway their opinion in your favor.
That's cool. I think these were in the older ones. If there's a subject that the player likes and he thinks very high of it, you can try to sway him away from it. And sometimes it will work, sometimes it won't.
Plan visits that elevate a recruit's experience, like pairing a quarterback visit with a wide receiver visit at the same time.
I really like how they did visits this year. In the older games, the visits were just kind of brainless. Like, you didn't really have to strategize how you were scheduling these visits. Now you can kind of pair your visits together. If you've got a quarterback right here and a wide receiver and you schedule that visit at the same time, you can get a bonus for that. It kind of makes sense. That's stuff that they do in real life. So I like that they did that.
It's crucial to keep an eye on the transfer portal when it opens in the offseason to round out your roster with talent you couldn't land from recruiting. Add portal prospects to your board just like you would with recruiting, but expect quick decisions as transfers have a shorter timeline to land a new home.
So the transfer portal, how that's going to work is it's going to happen in the offseason, kind of like what we're used to. Now, we're going to see a lot more players in the transfer portal. We're going to see every player that's in that portal, who's available. So when the transfer portal comes, we can go ahead and try to convince those players to come to our school for the positions that we didn't get in recruiting. If there's a powerhouse player out there that you want to go for, go ahead, try and do it. It's going to be just like how recruiting was. You select the players that you want to target, and then you could try to convince them. I think there's going to be like a 2-week window when you can sign those guys.
Conference realignment is a hot topic in college football. And with custom conferences in EA Sports College Football 25, Dynasty is yours to control. See what a 20-team super conference might look like, or revert to the traditional conference alignment.
As you can see, I'm very excited about this. Thank God, customization for conferences is going to be in the game. That is huge. You can do anything that you want. Notre Dame, I'm telling you right now, you are going in a conference. I don't care. If you start out as a bad team and you own this conference for like 3 straight years, you can move yourself up to the Big Ten, to the SEC, whatever you want to do. This is what they mean when college football can be a sandbox game mode. I really love this.
Shape the conference size and membership and set custom conference rules, set up divisions and more. Once you've settled your conference,
you see that you can set rules, you can set the location for the conference championship game. I love that. And I believe you can do this with your team builder teams too.
Options, it's time to select your team. Begin with a highly ranked team and dominate at the top with repeat.
Nope, we're not doing that.
Recruiting and playoff success. Or build from the ground up with a smaller
starting from the bottom, baby.
Program and prove you have what it takes to go from an
That's our team right there. Let's go. That's going to be our first team. The poll on our YouTube channel, you could still vote if you want, but Kennesaw State's kind of running away with it here, and they are going to be our first rebuild. So this is a look at what we're dealing with here. 71 overall. Good Lord.
Known to postseason.
That's our team right there. There's our boy. I don't know who that is, but I like their jerseys. I kind of like them. And this guy's shredded, so he could be a monster.
We can't talk about your dynasty without talking about your starting job. Start as an offensive or defensive coordinator and climb the ranks to head coach, or take over a program as the head coach right away. Choose from one of the 3 base coaching types to start.
All right, so you can be an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, or a head coach. Start at any of those. If you're a coordinator, you can work your way up to a head coach. For these coaches, you can be a motivator, recruiter, or a tactician. I'll tell you right now, if you guys are going to be one of those smaller schools, I definitely highly recommend being a recruiter, because that's what you're going to need the most. I feel like most people are just going to do recruiter anyways, because that is such a big part of Dynasty. I don't know. Motivator or tactician could be OP as well. We don't know yet.
Your coach type will determine what coaching skill tree you start with. From there, the abilities you acquire as you progress will determine what kind of coach you develop into. Unlock additional skill trees with better abilities. Or, if you build up multiple skill trees, you can unlock hybrid trees that leverage a more diverse skill set.
Okay, so the skill trees are back. Obviously, they're going to be a lot more complex this year. I think they're kind of confusing to me right now, but as we get into the game, I'm sure we'll start to get the hang of it. But It's still a coach tree, but it's not what we're used to in the older games. In the older games, you could just kind of build your way up and max everything out, and you were good at everything. Now you kind of have to just pick which path you want to be good at. You cannot be great at everything, which is, I think that's realistic. I think that's how it should be. The cool thing is that you can control your coordinators, defensive coordinators and offensive coordinators. You can fire them if you don't like them. You can hire certain ones that you want. Cool thing is if you've got holes in certain areas, you can hire a coordinator to fill those holes. So that is cool.
Coaching carousel is an important part of every coach's journey. Whether you're the head man at your dream school or working your way up, the carousel is your way of fielding offers from other programs. Head coaches in Dynasty can actively manage their coordinator position.
Is what we were talking about.
So if one of your staff takes a job elsewhere, or you decide to cut ties for other reasons, you can use the carousel.
Coaches can now go to the NFL. That's cool.
To replace them. Remember, even the greatest coaches need support, and every coach has a unique skill tree. It's important to think about how you want to build your staff, whether that's doubling down on your existing strengths to max out your benefits or seeking out balance for a well-rounded staff. Choose wisely. The decisions you make here will matter to your program's success and your coach's progression. The benefits of coach talents are stackable. So if your head coach and defensive coordinator have the same ability, the impact for that ability will be greater.
So you're really going to have to focus on your coordinators. I feel like in the older games, no one really cared about the coordinators. Now you really have to focus on who you're hiring, who you're going to fire, which path you want to go. Take a look at their talents. You can stack those talents if you have the same talent as your head coach, or you can kind of try to balance it out a little bit and try to cover everything. I think I'm just going to try to stack them. I don't know. We'll have to see. This is a very, very, very more complex skill tree than what we're used to in the older games, and I love that.
Well, that's it for today's deep dive into Dynasty mode in EA Sports College Football 25. To make it game day every day this season.
Well done. I am very impressed by this. I think they did a perfect job with sticking to the old Dynasty game mode in the older games and just kind of expanding on that. I'm glad that they didn't try to just start from the bottom and make something brand new. No, they started with what they knew and expanded on that. I love that. That is great. But let me know down in the comments if there's anything that I missed in this video. Also, make sure to read that link in the description. There's a lot of really cool things in there that they did not cover in this video. Stuff like team builder and all that's in there. So be sure to read up on that. But that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're getting really close to game time, man. Can't wait for it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm out of here. Peace.